We all go to school to learn something, right? Through middle school, we were taught to share and be kind to others. Through high school, we were taught to be mature and how to problem solve. Through college, we were taught how to live life on our own and make our own decisions. But what if I told you you're missing out on a huge part of essential education needed for adulthood? The sport of fishing naturally teaches life lessons such as patience, respect, and common courtesy used in everyday life. I have been fishing since the moment I was able to hold a fishing rod. My fascination with the sport led me to learn everything I could about fishing. I still have a lot to learn, however, through my experience so far, I have learned more about life than any book or teacher could have ever possibly taught me. Today, I'd like to discuss how fishing can change your life completely for the better and show you how significantly it has affected my life so far. First, let me explain how fishing changes your perspective on life in general. An interesting article called Working the Waves, the plebeian culture of morale economy of traditional Basque fishing brotherhoods, was published with the sole purpose of combining the thoughts and morals of the local fishermen in Otazu. To sum the article up, the local fishermen feel as though the future generations are going to live without a sense of reality due to modernization and technology that has changed the process of fishing completely. Before this technology, fishing was a skill that was highly respected among Otazu. Now, fishing machines and engines have made fishing just a way to mass produce fish without skill involved at all. Fishing not only allows you to appreciate the process of fishing, but it also gives you a sense of hard work and success. Finding the fish, using the right bait, and financially catching the fish. And that all leads to successful fishing. The locals feel as though this process is used in everyday life and not just fishing. For example, patience is used in every day when conversing with others. Another example would be respect. We respect the people around us similar to how fishermen respect the nature around them. Not only does fishing affect our mental state, but it also affects our physical state. Fishing is an active sport that does require skill. This skill is easy to acquire if you focus and use common sense. For many people who catch their own bait, they use nets and small rigs. This can be challenging to some, but with a little effort and persistence, you'll catch all the bait you need. The next step is to set up your lines properly. This step doesn't require much effort at all, yet it requires attention to detail. If your bait is not on the hook, well, you'll lose the bait as soon as you throw it out. After you've casted out your bait comes the best part of all. Nothing. You simply wait, sit back, and relax. Hopefully fish are being drawn in. All these steps lead to physical activity of some sort. Fishing gets you active in nature. It allows you to be present in the scenery. For me, every time I'm fishing, no matter the weather, the time, the day, I always admire my physical surroundings. That's something you can't do inside. Which brings me to my next point. I want to mention how the sport of fishing affects the quality of an individual's life. I want you to pay attention because this quite possibly is the most important thing you'll hear in your life. I want to do this by putting you in my shoes. Imagine that you're 8-year-old without a worry in the world other than what you're eating for dinner. Every day you wake up, get dressed, and go off to school. For 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, you're inside, learning about history, science, math, English, and so on. Right when you get home, you're told you can't play with your friends until you've done your chores. Chores take almost 2 hours. By then, it's dark outside. Yet you're still able to go over with your friends for a few hours. You stay there for a couple of hours until your parents decide it's time for you to come home. Fast forward 13 years, and your life has only become more difficult. Instead of only school now, You work 6 hours a day. You still have chores, although they are called responsibilities now. You are not working or studying for the next big test. You are sleeping as long as you can because you don't know when you'll be able to sleep next. You see, my whole life has been based around work, school, and responsibility. And the act of fishing is the only time where none of those things are relevant. If you live in that moment, you'll realize all of a sudden you're not on a schedule. In fact, you're on a beautiful earth filled with beautiful people with nothing better to do than relax and admire your surroundings. Life is filled with responsibility, but fishing teaches you to make your happiness one of the largest responsibilities of all. In conclusion, the sport of fishing touches every aspect of life from learning to living. It may be just another hobby, however, this hobby of mine has taught me more about how to live than anything I've ever experienced. I urge you to bring fishing into your life because when you do, you'll learn more than you ever have and live harder than you ever could have ever imagined. Thank you.